anything the mind can conceive. I messed it all up. I had an intro started. I was going to say, anything the mind can conceive is real somewhere. Anyway, I'll get to that in a little bit more. But first, I want to thank our sponsors and BigGunner81 live show, of course. So our sponsors, again, Applied Arsenal Finishes and Gunworks out in Watermill, Illinois, for all your Cerakote coating needs and laser engraving and some machining work, too, for custom slide work and things like that. Also to our friends over at Eggleston Munitions, egglestonmunitions.com. Check them out. If you're into reloading, like myself, you might see my press back there. They have some projectiles at an awesome price point and so forth that are really good value. And, of course, our friends over at Spin Precision, spinprecision.com. They make some great barrels, and not only for the AR-15 platform or the AR-10/308 platform, also now they're making a lot of items for Glock. They're making slides and barrels and things, too, for that. Got some other accessories and things on my website as well. Check them out. And, of course, our friends over at the Range of 355 out in Bolingbrook, Illinois. So before we roll into everything, introduce everybody. First off, our buddy Kent, for those who are wondering, he is out doing some type of Second Amendment protest type thing right now. He was going to try to make it, but he's actually on his way home from that right now at the moment, and so he won't be joining us tonight. So anyhow, with us in the house, we got a new face with us. We got Bubba's Blasters here with us from Instagram. Welcome.
Howdy.
So we'll learn a little bit more about your. Yeah, I'm glad to have you, and we're all glad to hear, learn some stuff from everybody, from you and everyone else. Instagram channel and the kind of stuff you do.
Well, really.
We'll get it. And of course, we got TJ, Let's Lean Ginger, with us.
How's it going, everybody?
Welcome. Like the shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, it turned out really good.
Very cool. Well, you can mention where you can find that too, if you want.
Yeah, so right now we're just running kind of a side hobby business, Borderline Belligerent. You can find us on Facebook, Borderline Belligerent Designs on Instagram.
Awesome. Very cool. And of course, we got Corey from Southern Salbeards with us in the house. Welcome, Corey.
Hello.
So anyhow, that whole intro, I'm off my game tonight. When am I ever on it? Who knows? So I guess I'll talk about we'll kind of start talking about a couple things. One thing, I know it was last week before, we were talking about the 3D printing and manufacturing thing. I think it was before last. I finally got my 3D printer up and running, sort of ish. And I say that because, well, it came as a kit for some that may have been following along on the Instagram channel, Instagram.com/BigGunner81. Basically comes the whole kit. You just assemble off the boat or from China. So that took a lot of just time and assembly work and things like that, and got all put together. Gonna go on with it, finally got the electronics all put together. Worked out a couple little bugs on the way. So, go to my print, the first print, it won't print. I noticed the heating bed is not heating up. Apparently, of course, which makes sense, the extruder has to be hot, so the plastic be hot so it can actually flow. So it doesn't run through its program if that's the case, because it wouldn't be able to print anything anyway. So I believe if the bed is not hot enough, it also will not print. On one of the, on the forums for this particular printer, had said, no, it can print when it's cold, but I can't figure out how, because what I found was basically break down. There's a transistor, a MOSFET. They call it. It is part of the electronics. Basically, there's a controller for it that turns on the bed, and there's this it has power going into it and power going should be going out of it to the bed to heat it up. But, parameters are there, but there's no power coming out of it, so it looks like a bad MOSFET out of the box. Anyhow, me being impatient self, wanting to try this thing, I went ahead, disconnected the heating bed, the ground terminal, which is what's apparently controlled by the MOSFET, because there's always 24 volts to this bed. Decided just to basically just tap it on and, jump it every once in a while and get it hot enough. So I got the bed temperature up, above 50 degrees or whatever it's supposed to, 50 degrees Celsius, I think is what it is. I don't really know. I'm still learning this stuff, but it actually started working. I'm like, okay, cool. So contacted the company, trying to get that transistor MOSFET thing sent to me so I could fix it. Meanwhile, I'll just put an order for one just to get it coming so I can actually assemble it and get it to work. Of course, taking the case apart a couple times. I don't have any photos of this right now. I snapped part of the case because of just the way I was handling it. And it's acrylic plastic, kind of a bummer, but from the company, if not, running and print one and just replace it that way, which is kind of the cool part of it. Just share a couple things I did. The very first item I printed, you can print this in the most optimal way. Obviously, it was the first thing I printed, and just wanted to see the machine make something. Buddy Tim Ubel over at TACCOM 3G, he makes a lot of cool products for like 3-gun and whatnot, and competition shooting and all that stuff. Even for right now, his big hot thing is the pistol caliber carbines, of course. So he's got a lot of products out for the various different versions of that. But what's really neat that he does, he has some products that are 3D printed. Some items that maybe he designed and spent all that hard time putting together and making the files for and everything that maybe are not really advantageous to sell. Maybe they're not something he's going to be it's going to be a big money maker, I guess. Kind of cool. What's really awesome is he shares those files so you can actually take them and 3D print them if you have a 3D printer or access to one and make your own. That's what I'm holding here, basically a stage saver. I printed this one, like I said, probably not the best method. I probably should have printed it flat like this. Instead, I just kind of went with however it was inside the file, which was just the slicing program set it up this way. And surprisingly, it didn't have any support material. So what's kind of hard to see, and if I maybe like hold it still, you might be able to see the rough edges on this side down. So you can imagine hot plastic's going to want to drip downward, right, or move downward. So it's got some rough edges around this. However, the top side is much smoother. Didn't come out too bad. It's probably usable. It's not very pretty. The worst thing out there. So I got a little excited, and I was thinking, hey, I designed this keychain thing that I was playing around with the BigGunner81 logo. I had no hopes for it to printing out at all, really, in any decent, because as you can it's harder to see on camera. It looks better probably in person than it does in camera, but the 81 is right here and it's in a box. So the 8 also has little slots in the center of it. Like it's not a full complete, and detail. Now the text didn't come out too bad. Hard to kind of see on the camera the quality of it, but can it do much better? I'm sure it can once I get everything all tweaked and set up and get all the temperature settings and get the heated bed working properly and that sort of thing. Now, one of the other things I learned about this whole 3D printer experiment, because down the road it'd be kind of fun to make some different firearms accessories and parts and even just prototype them. I've seen people talk about, adhesion and things like that, and I've seen having, scrapers to get their parts and, objects off the bed. Well, wasn't thinking about this too much very well late last night, and I probably should have at least gotten some painter's tape to lay across the bed or something, because you could see on the backside, this whole thing was stuck, and it's flat, okay, and I've only did a 20% fill rate, or fill, and that means it's pretty hollow. That's why you see like these crisscross patterns inside. It's basically a big like honeycomb on the inside of it, and it's very light. I think if I was going to do this again, I'd probably, obviously, after I learned some of the settings and so forth, I'd probably increase the fill rate just to kind of make it a little bit rigid. I probably wouldn't go too crazy with it, but definitely more than what we're having right here. So anyway, just kind of something pretty cool. That's actually like I was able to pick up, Fusion 360 pretty quick and make something like this just from nothing but my own thoughts and my friends, design for the logo and figuring out a way to adapt that into the Fusion 360 and raise it out of this blank keychain design that I kind of made. So just something I kind of want to share with everybody. It's a fun learning experience. Of course, takes a lot of time, patience, and just a lot of learning, and making some mistakes and whatnot. So hopefully they're not expensive ones. So I don't know if you guys got anything you want to discuss tonight. I know there's one thing we can talk about. We mentioned off air, and we'll probably go into that in a little while. But if there's any other topics you want to bring up first.
Well,
TJ, you got anything?
Well, yeah, actually. So with SHOT Show just completing, and sorry guys, I'm recovering from a real bad head cold, so my voice is still kind of messed up.
That's right, Bo was there too.
That's right.
So with SHOT Show, something I've been watching all the footage and stuff. Probably some of the cooler stuff, and I think the 3D printing ties into this.
Okay.
Was seeing the 3D printed suppressor that was put out.
Wow.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I don't.
Yeah, that's pretty
I didn't
cool.
see it at SHOT Show. Was it printed like in what, metal printing?
Yeah. So they're using some sort of a high tech metal alloy, and yeah, they're calling it 3D printing. Now, whether that's a injection molded printing or if it's the next level up from CNC machining. So is it really 3D printing or is it CNC? Right. That's the question.
Well, the thing is that when you look at a 3D printer, it basically is. It's instead of removing material, it's adding it.
Right.
That's the only difference. It's basically still CNC, and it has G code.
Right.
That's my opinion of it anyway.
No, so I think the 3D printing is another step in the direction for the advancement of the firearms industry. And the stuff that Tim Ubel's done, I love that guy. I mean, I use a lot of Tacom.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I use a lot of Tacom products for 3-gun. Use their shell caddies. I've got a PCC decked out with Tacom products, and even their 3D printed magwell, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I think to your point about him, hey, this isn't something that I could probably make a lot of money off of. I think that might be partially true, but knowing Tim, he is probably one of the best people that gives back to the industry.
Absolutely.
So I think a lot of that's just him like, you know what? Yeah. Because trust me, if he made it, he could easily sell it and make a good profit. Right? Regardless of what it is. Because they make great products. They really do. And I'm not sponsored.
He does.
I'm not sponsored by Tacom at all. I'm an advocate for them because they make a damn good product and they're a good company.
Absolutely.
But I think
he's
that's
a great guy and makes some awesome stuff.
Yeah, I think that's just a testament to his character as, one of those people giving back to the firearms community. I honestly believe that. So, but yeah, I think the 3D printing is going to go a lot farther in the coming years. Maybe not the next year or two, but the next 3 to 5 years. I'd look to see a lot more 3D printed products at SHOT Show coming up.
Well, here's the thing, at least, again, my opinion, and someone who's still learning this stuff, time to 3D print something. Mm-hmm. Granted, it just does, because the process of it, it's probably, I imagine it's faster to machine something out of aluminum than trying to print this, but I don't know, maybe not. Because you may have to do a different machine setup, versus if I was going to machine this keychain deal just to throw out because I had it in my hand. It's just layering it all up, right? If you have an aluminum, it's going to have to, carve it all out. It might have some tool changes, or maybe it can do it with one tool. I don't know. But then you also have to, are you going to fix this in a fixture? Because it's got to hold it, to keep it from moving when it's being machined and things like that. So there's going to be some type of that's got to be removed afterwards, or whatever. So there's probably more steps involved with it. I don't know.
It's definitely something I'd like to do more research on.
It's fun.
Not just the 3D printing that we can do with the plastic or the polymer injection, but just from the metal side of the house. because that 3D printed suppressor is rated for 300 Win Mag. So
I don't recall the company, but there's a company out there that makes a titanium 3D printed Vortex, Viper, and Venom optics mounts for Picatinny rails as like an absolute co-witness for something super lightweight on an AR pistol platform. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, wow.
Weighs 0.6 ounces.
That is cool. We've seen, speaking of metals and stuff, we're seeing a little bit more of the titanium coming out there as far as products for the AR-15 platform. I know, I believe this DS Arms has, I believe, upper receiver. They've got titanium castle nuts and I think takedown pins. Well, takedown pins a lot. There's other companies that have that too. What else they have? They had a bunch of titanium parts that they had from their company at DS Arms. If I remember right. And then also, of course, JP Enterprises. They have titanium components and whatnot. Trying to think of all they make, but they have titanium firing pins are pretty common too as an option. I mean, I have one. I forgot about that. It's in my competition rifle. But you see a lot of these interesting, more exotic metals and the magnesium, receivers. Of course, magnesium, AR-15 receivers have gotten a bad rap. Some of them have, at least, because I know there's one company out there, I'm not going to name names, that cracking and different things and failing. But there's other companies out there that are, from my understanding, are doing it, right. They're using a more proper alloy to make that lower. But in the end, too, you're also looking at, you're getting this weight saving, and what's the benefit versus what are you giving up out of that? There's always like something. It's either you're getting the lower weight. You're maybe sacrificing durability. With at least three factors there to consider that kind of pull on each other. Unless it's like polymer, you can go in each direction of the triangle. A lot more money for it if you want to have something that's strong. Or you can have something that's low cost that is lightweight but not so strong. Of course, you can have something that's heavy and it's low cost and whatever, strong. But anyway, yeah, I kind of beat that to death. So on that one. But yeah, definitely the technology is something that's pretty intriguing that's out there when it comes to stuff. And our buddy Dustin, he might be coming on the show tonight, maybe in a little while. I'm not sure. I sent the link to I don't know if it's brand new or what, but it's new to him anyway. Which I'm still learning about all the different brands that are out there. When I was taking classes on CNC machining and stuff, dealt a lot with like Haas machines, which is like one of the leaders in that industry, from my understanding. But I was out at our friends over at Applied Arsenal Finishes, and he has a Tormach machine that he bought. And they look like really nice machines from what I'm reading about and what I've seen of it so far. And the size of it is something that you could fit like in your, if you want to fit in your home garage or something like that. It does take up a good amount of space home if you want to, really. I mean, it's really cool. It's fun to watch these machines run and getting them set up and just, seeing the final product that comes out of them. It's a fun thing to learn. Anyway, I mentioned Shop Show. I'm gonna mess up the title of it. TJ, if you want to give it a title, you know what I'm talking about? The incident with
the anti-gun bunny.
Yes, there you go. The anti-gun bunny. That's perfect. That's I should have put that on my my hashtags for that photo I shared on Instagram for it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There's if those don't know, there's this lady, Rochelle is her first name. That was we use basically slang term gun bunny for Tactical. She was interviewed by some magazine. I don't remember what the title it was. It doesn't even matter to me because the whole gist of it just is kind of like one of those things. It's like WTF, which I can read the response. I had that up on my page from Turn Tactical. They actually, they responded to it earlier today. They said, we were surprised to see an article recently published in a beauty magazine quoting a promotional model and friend of our company, Rochelle Hathaway. An impromptu statement during SHOT Show. We're unaware of the interview and we did not condone the interview or the statements made by Rochelle. Rochelle has never been authorized to speak on behalf of our company or its founder, Taryn Butler. As of today, we've cut all professional ties with Rochelle. While we respect everyone's right to free speech, Rochelle's statements are appropriate and do not represent our company's vision. We have and always will support the Second Amendment rights and will continue to educate and promote the safe legal ownership and handling of firearms. I don't have it in front of me where exact comments were. TJ, you probably have that. I have an article pulled up somewhere, or at least have it off the top of your head.
In a nutshell, she's totally okay with the complete disarmament of the American citizenry.
There you go. That's a simplified version of it.
That's the simple version of what she said.
Either way,
it was the biggest foot in mouth I think has ever come out of a gun show. I mean, that was more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably more awkward than someone being accidentally shot at a gun show.
So what's the vetting process for these gun bunnies at Terran Tactical?
That was what I was going to say. Basically, like, so they're basically saying, well, they don't support the statements, blah blah. How, as a company that deals in firearms, accessories, and whatnot, exactly vet people that are supposed to be representing your company. That's pretty far off. It's like, okay, so if you've,
See, and
anyway.
And Rick, we've talked about this in the past. We've had the gun bunny discussion in the past, right? I think it really comes down to the actual difference between female shooter and a gun bunny.
Yep.
There are a lot of...
There's a difference. There's a lot of great female shooters out there.
And let's be honest, the Terran Tactical shooting team is 90% plus women, all of varying degrees of attractiveness depending on your personal preference. But generally speaking, a lot of them are avid shooters. They compete, and they may or may not actually do well. They've been to more major competitions than I have, but you very rarely see them win. However, when you're looking at a sponsored shooter, a real sponsored shooter is not there necessarily to win a match. Now, that's always a goal, right? Hey, right. my shooter won.
Sponsorship's more for how you're representing the company and the product.
Not just representing the company and the product, but representing the sport and the Second Amendment community. I would rather take a person that can bring more people to become new shooters or to purchase the product than someone who wins a bunch of trophies, right? Because for every sponsored shooter out there or for every 2 or 3 sponsored shooters that are actually advancing the sport and that company's goals, there's maybe one that's winning all the championships and really not doing anything but making their own appearances, right? So it's more for personal gain than it is for the company and the sport. And hey, we're all out, human beings do stuff for 3 reasons: pleasure, profit, and personal gain. Okay. So what we have here,
so 3 P's.
Yeah, what we have here is a gun bunny. She looked pretty. She might have pulled a trigger once or twice in her life, but she was just there as window dressing. I mean, hell, Bubba, you were at SHOT Show. I've seen all the pictures and footage. You couldn't sling a dead cat without seeing a pretty girl wearing a Terran Tactical shirt.
Pretty is a subjective term, so
there you go.
We have agreed on that.
Yes,
but yeah,
but you're correct. There's a lot of them out there.
There's a million of them, and you can't tell me all of them are on the shooting team.
No.
Speaking of SHOT Show, what else have you seen there, Matt, that you thought was interesting this year?
Oh man, anyone that knows me knows I'm a huge fan of Lone Wolf frames, and they're coming out with all different types of lone wolf frames. They're large caliber frames, and then most importantly, you know, my carry gun is a lone wolf. It's a Glock 19 frame, but I run a 17 slide on it. So them coming out with a 17 frame that's a 19 length is huge for me, because now I don't have to order a $200 barrel from KKM that's custom made. I can just run everything 17 up top, everything, you know, 19 as far as mags and whatnot on the bottom. So that was probably pretty awesome. High up on the list for me because, you know, I'm a huge fan. Trying to think of what else I saw that was just innovative.
Tell me about the Reformation, because we kind of stomped that to the ground.
What's that?
Don't mention the Reformation, because we've already stomped that to the ground last week.
Yeah, not impressed. I think the coolest part of SHOT Show is just the experience. You know, I think if I were to go next year, which probably won't happen, I think that's a one and done for me. You know, it'd probably be very similar with very few new products. I don't know. A lot of the new innovative products, it was kind of like, I've already seen stuff like this. It's not that new and innovative. You just came out with it.
Right. They just did their own version, basically.
Right. That, you know, there's tons of new companies making Glock slides or Glock parts, Glock-like parts. Okay, that's not new. That's just new to you. Right. So
is that why you may not go next year, is what you're saying?
Well, I'm not really in the gun industry. I am in a completely different industry as far as my career path is concerned. This is just a fun hobby for me. I know a lot of people that went, and it was awesome to get to hang out with them, although I didn't get to meet everybody I wanted to, you know, as far as I would say good connections through Instagram. I did get to meet a lot of cool people, so that was really fun. And I've never been to Vegas before. That was awesome. I went with my dad. He had a blast too. He was just checking out everything.
Nice.
That's a good time there too, because you know it's something you get to do with your dad, and it's, you know, it's impressions and memories for a lifetime that you get and share with people that actually enjoy the same things that you do. And
exactly.
You know, when I was able to go up to Chicago almost a year ago, it'd be a year in April. You know, I went to the Grunt Style headquarters. I went to the range at 355. It was my first time in Chicago. Stayed for 3 days, and it was just me and my dad. And we've never ever done anything like that before. You know, where it was just us, and it was a great time.
Yeah, yep. You know, you gotta take that as you can. I mean, you know, life doesn't last forever.
No, I definitely have to make it out there to SHOT Show eventually.
Yeah, it's
next year.
It's interesting to say the least. You know, you get to see the biggest gun show you've ever seen in your life. You have to have some fantastic food. You know, a lot of the fun in a trip is not necessarily the destination, but it's the trip there and who you take it with. So,
yeah, I agree.
Well said. Got a shout out here to our friends over on YouTube that are watching. The John Z Project. He said, hey, BG81, hey, Corey. So thanks for watching and hanging out there. Of course, you guys have any questions, comments, let us know. We do watch the live chat on YouTube and gun channels as well. To our friend Bob and Gavin over at gunchannels.com. If you want to hang out at gunchannels.com and watch the show, you can go to gunchannels.com/BigGunner81 and check it out there. Like I said, they have a live chat going on that website as well. They have a live, actually, to kind of sum up what Gun Channels kind of is, I compare it to like the Facebook of the gun world. It's basically a social website for gun owners, and they have a live 24/7, you know, text-based chat where you can talk to people, and they also do run chats almost 24 hours a day, but not quite, where people can kind of jump in just like we're doing tonight and having a discussion about firearms, anything that's related to them, and so forth. And yeah, before and they'll kind of vary, you know, time to time from gun stuff to non-gun stuff and whatnot, but it's always fun. So anyhow, And John says, "Ooh, I'm famous." So, hey, if you guys watch this, we'll mention who's out there watching and commenting, of course. Camp 1, welcome. Thanks for hanging out and watching the show tonight. We try to do this every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. I've been thinking about switching up that time, by the way. I don't know, just right now, real quick, what do you guys think? And Bubba's kind of new to this, but as far as the timing, doing this at this point in the evening.
9 o'clock works for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock.
You guys are also
okay,
so you guys are all in Central Time Zone, where I was previously when I started doing this.
Well, you guys might be. I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so right now.
Oh, so you're on my clock. Then.
It's 10:30 here, so.
Yeah.
Same. So.
But it doesn't bother me a bit because I'm one of them like night owls. This is like my kind of fun time right here. This is the part where those clowns standing out at stop signs in the middle of the night. This is their terror hour for me right now because I'm up and here I come. so
what are you saying then, Corey? Are you like some type of vigilante for the clowns? That
I think I might might have to take my Praetorian Ventures bat out with me anywhere I go in the middle of the night. I'm just if I see one, it might get taken out. But this kind of time, it doesn't affect me at all. So my time's fine.
Cool. Yeah. So John was asking where I was. I guess where you were at or I was at. I'm not sure. I'm guessing this question. As this Eastern Time Zone, Indiana. I'm in North Carolina. I was from Illinois. So that's why I was in a Central Time Zone and so forth previously. Just to kind of give that, of course. And Bubba, where are you from, by the way?
I'm in Texas.
I don't know if you heard that or not. I was gonna say, Bubba, where are you? What part of the country are you from?
I'm from Texas. Yeah.
So wait, you're
about an hour north of Houston.
Awesome. So I assume, are you going to go to the NRA show this year?
Yeah, I'll be at the NRA show. Got some more friends going there. We went when it was in Houston a couple years ago, and it was fun.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I've been to SHOT Show only twice, so I'm a total expert on SHOT Show now, right? I'm kidding, but of course. And we went to NRA show a couple times as well. Just to give a little bit of comparison from my limited experience, it is a totally different show. Of course, SHOT Show is more for like industry and media and so forth. It's very busy, very rushed, and very large, and you'll never cover the whole show in the week. Well, all you can do is make a game plan for SHOT Show and try to catch whatever it is you want to catch up with. Which I'll add to that too. Funnest thing at SHOT Show, besides seeing what's out there, which like you were kind of alluding to earlier, that there isn't a whole lot of new stuff in the gun industry. A lot of it's just kind of reformed and sold by a different company,
regurgitated.
But the people are the big part of why I like to go. There's a lot of great people in the industry. Getting to hear their stories, see what they're up to, and just that it's a lot of fun in that respect and whatnot. And NRA show, you get a lot of the same stuff like that. It's a little bit more laid back. The people who are there representing the companies, I think, are a little bit more laid back because they're not under the stress of making deals and selling and the time crunch of so many people in one space and trying to get all this stuff done and work. And now it's more like, at least my opinion, and I'm not setting up a booth myself, obviously, but, of course, there's a lot of work involved with doing it and getting it put together. And they're still working while they're there, but it's just a little bit different, and that there's a little less. And, of course, open to the public, so you get, general public there. A lot of fun. A little bit smaller show, but you still get to see a lot of cool stuff. And our buddy Dustin just jumped in with us, so welcome, Dustin.
Hey, man.
So,
howdy.
You're just puzzled. You can hear us, right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. So,
okay, cool.
I Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it was a pain in the butt. Apparently, Firefox stopped using apps for the Hangout group, and I was like having to go back between browsers to figure out which one worked. So I just had to download Chrome.
Yeah, what's funny is I've had issues with like Chrome before, even now. I don't know if this is, I know Corey was experiencing where can't use the Google Toolbox Hangout Toolbox thing to third, lower third, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I found like Google Hangouts, if I want to do a screen share, it doesn't work properly for that. For some reason, I can't screen share things properly. Explorer will screen share things properly, but I have more problems with operating. But those are only two browsers I have set up on this machine right now. So it's goofy. I get Googled sometimes with this stuff where, like, we've had instances where we go to do a show live and, there's some issue with software and, like, basically it's not just Google itself. And we can all join in the room, but we couldn't actually use the live button. So we're all hanging out. We're like, okay, well, I guess we can't do this now. Let's do it next week. And it does suck. It happens. But, we're also got to keep in mind that the software that we use is not, something we're paying to use. Advertisers are paying, Google and YouTube, which is all kind of one and the same anyway. To advertise a product. That's where they make their money, and they offer this service so that we make content for them, so that there's content being made for the commercials to be played on, basically. Synopsis of how it works and so forth, but is what it is. So what we got going on here? We got a lot of. I have no idea what he's talking about. I guess there's a sub conversation about people or some weird stuff. I don't really know. Firefox, they still exist. That's funny. And Biker Bob is joining us on YouTube as well. So it's always fun to watch the comments on there. Speaking of which, I had a couple comments on videos this week as well. Grab some of those up here in a moment. Gotta bear with me because my computer's got to do too many things at once while connected to the internet, and it gets all weird. So let's see what we got. We got one comment on here that just is in regards to a video I made back in July of 14. One of the first videos I did, which was, it may even be the first video, I don't remember, which is on the proper lightweight tactical pants. And it's more than a great option for big guys. This video hasn't had a ton of views. There's some videos I have a lot of views on, some I don't. It's age, I guess. It's been out there. It's not very long. We got Jared Chappell writes on here, nice review, bro. I'm searching all over for a pair of big guy cargo / tactical pants. The items to find locally. And there's no such thing as trying them on before you buy, when you buy online. I used to wear old school BDU pants all the time years ago, but I wore mine out and never bought new ones because I never served. I get pretty upset about wearing military clothing if you never were in the military, and understandably so.
Okay, I'm ex-military.
Sorry?
As an ex-service member.
Yes.
As an ex-service member, just buy the old BDU pants. We don't give a shit.
There you go.
Now, when you start, you want to start walking around wearing the uniform and pretend. If you want to walk around and start wearing the uniform like you were in the military, then yeah, there's a problem. But we don't give a shit if you buy the pants. We really don't.
Just remember, as long as the underwear goes on the pants, not on the outside. Stolen valor, and yes, of course, I agree. It's completely wrong to pose as a member of the military, and when you were / are not, and no, I never lied about being in the service. All my respect and gratitude to the men and women of the armed forces. God bless you. I only wore them because they fit great and are made very well and highly functional. These pants, however, seem a lot more mainstream in their acceptance of being worn by civilians such as myself, so coupling that with their similar traits of form and functionality, I'll give them a go. Thank you. So thanks for watching the video. Hopefully they work out for you. You know, when I originally started this channel, the intent was to do videos on gear and, you know, gun and gear related, you know, tactical stuff for big guys. And I quickly realized that if I wanted to create content, you know, there's only so many items I could do that with, you know, create videos with that would fit in those categories. And the second part of that is the expense. You know, you get a request for something, hey, can you do this? Well, I got to buy that product to do it. And yeah, it gets expensive and so forth. So we started branching out into other things. You know, I started, you know, shortly after that, getting more into shooting sports and just different aspects of the gun world, and expanded upon that. And we do a lot of stuff with the AR-15, do a lot of different, you know, reviews on different items for that are centered around firearms and so forth. Do some how-tos, you know, eventually at some point when I get this 3D printer thing all worked out, you know, for the most part, where I'm getting more successful with it, we'll probably do a little video about that and just, you know, showing off some of the stuff you can do with it and whatnot as we get a little more advanced into it. So anyhow, I appreciate all of you guys out there watching and supporting the channel, and comments, sharing the videos. All those things are helpful to making that happen. So yes, so I was gonna say Bubba's Blasters. Tell us about some of the stuff you got, like interesting things you got on your Instagram page.
I don't think any of it's interesting. I don't know why I have the followers I have.
Somebody does. You got like what, 20,000 followers? So how did you build that following if you don't have anything interesting?
Just repetitive posting, I guess. I don't know. I just post pictures of my guns, my holsters. Very little on there is not mine, except stuff from SHOT Show. I post some shooting videos from competition, and that's the least amount of views I've ever gotten. Nobody cares to watch those shooting videos because I'm not tactical like all the Lucases and Drews of the world out there, and I'm not a good video editor. I don't know. Heck, I've been doing it.
So what kind of shooting do you do? Like what competitions do you actually participate in?
USPSA, we do a Rimfire Steel Challenge match every month, which basically is any 22 you want to do. And you have 5 stages, 5 strings, shoot it as fast as you can. It's held at our Cowboy Action Shooters Club, and which I'm not a part of. The actual Cowboy Action shooting, that's expensive. But
there's anything wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with it. Just can't afford it. But I don't know. That's a super fun warm up.
3 guns more expensive than
Cowboy Action. It may be. I know with the Cowboy Action Shooters, they get into the dress, you know, the actual attire, and those expensive lever guns that they tune.
Well,
so
the 3-gun guys get into like their stuff with their, you know, your jersey and everything. Everybody's got their period specific wear, I guess.
I think in 3-gun they have new rules.
I'm with Bubba on this one, man. Single action shooting's way more expensive.
Really?
Yeah. It's very expensive.
I know nothing about it, so it's like we always learn stuff, you know.
But I use that little 22. I use that little 22 match as a warm up for JP Rifles sponsors our JP Enterprises Steel match every month, and it's mostly a PCC or shotgun, but you have the occasional pistol shooters that just want to get better. And it's usually 5 to 6 stages, minimum of 30 steel targets each time. And that's an absolute blast. So those are the three main matches I do every month that I am able to make it. So
very cool. Wow, we had a bunch of comments that flipped over here. They're talking back and forth, I guess. Here on YouTube.
Yeah, someone said
love the pants, hate the buttons.
Grandpa's clubbing baby seals and stuff. Like I don't even like that. That has nothing to do with guns at all.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it. Somehow it went from talking about pants and you know, we were talking about should check his new invention called Zipper. Pants. buttons. Anyway, it's always fun. A lot of good guys up there just having fun chatting away. What else can I say? So, TJ, tell us a little bit more about that from what you've seen with the cowboy action stuff with the single action.
Yeah, no, I've got a buddy of mine that actually got started in cowboy action before he moved it. So he went in reverse. Most guys start in USPSA, then they go to 3-gun or a multi-gun, so USPSA multi-gun, and then they get into single action. He started in single action, and you're talking about the shotgun, which, by the way, all the firearms have to be era specific. There are mechanical limitations or modernizations that are limited. So, rabbit ear double barrel shotgun or a era accurate pump style shotgun. The 1873 model lever action, which one of those in and of itself could go for over $1,000 without the modifications. For sporting it out, making it faster, lighter trigger and whatnot. And then you have to have 2 pistols or 2 revolvers. So, I mean, the guns alone are going to put you into the red. And then, as Bubba was saying, the garb, because you have to compete wearing the Old West style outfits.
So that's a requirement?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cowboy action for the older crowd, or no?
No, actually, if you watch some of the videos on YouTube, there's actually a lot of youngsters out there doing the single action shooting.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I just asked because I've only seen one cowboy action match going on. If you want to call it a match, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a match.
And it seemed like it was all older people doing it, so I don't know.
No, there's
not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying.
There's a lot of young people doing it too. I mean, there's kids doing it. I mean, I'd say the same age demographics you see in any of the modern shooting sports you see in single action.
John's asking if he says he wants the 3-gun. He says, adopt me. Well, no. Unfortunately, I'm sure each one of us, our own habits are quite expensive. Taking on another 3-gunner, someone who wants a 3-gun would be pretty hard to do. Anyway, but hey, thanks for asking. I'm glad that you'd want one of us to adopt you. I'm guessing they probably want Corey to adopt them.
I think they're under the impression that we make gun bunny salaries.
So speaking of like the whole gun buddy, did y'all see the shit show with Terran Tactical? I'm assuming y'all did because it's pretty hot.
You're getting here a little late, Dustin.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Oh, okay. I'll just go tonight.
Looks like you're already in bed.
Yeah,
well, I am in bed. I'm like sitting on the couch, man. I've been I got some machinery in, and I've been setting stuff up and running parts and stuff tonight.
I saw that Tormach setup is nice.
Yeah, it's not a Haas, but then again, I'm not shelling out $50,000 either.
No, I know.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I started looking at them a little bit just to get an idea what they are. A little while ago, because my friend Brandon at Applied Arsenal Finishes and Gunworks has one. He picked up, and he's been doing like slides and things like that and whatnot. And it's like pretty impressive for what it is. I mean,
yeah,
absolutely, pretty nice machine.
Yeah, you get on like Instagram and just like hashtag Tormach. There is literally a ton of guys that got like the 770 machines that like all they do is they do Glock slides. That is absolutely all they do.
Right.
I got mine to do more than just gun stuff, but hey, I mean, somebody comes and is like, hey, cut my slide. Okay. Why not? But
I know that's something we kind of talked about too. I want to take and just for the heck of it design, my slide cuts in Fusion 360 just to do that. And then I was thinking, for fun, if I would like to find a file for the Glock 19 Gen 4 that's basically just a blank slide file. What I like to do with that is, rendition of it, or prototype, I guess, of the slide cuts I'd be doing to my actual slide.
Well, the good thing about a
Now-
Glock is it's a rectangle with
That's
some
the next thing I was going
radius
to say.
and some chamfers. And for the most part,
You know,
it's not hard. Like I'm pulling up and doing the modeling for MMP 2.0, and with the serrations they got, which aren't hard, it's just the other relief cuts they got. It's hard to really pick up because you don't have a good indexing point, if that makes sense,
right?
to really work off of. So you're kind of like in limbo for a little bit. Then a 9 and a 40 slides are different in how they taper to the muzzle.
Interesting. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the Glock slide is probably the easiest one to do because it's basically a rectangle.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. That's why there's so many people that do them.
The slide that I have, the slide that I have is a rectangle, pretty much, with a couple of. I keep wanting to say I messed up the term. It's chamfer, and then what's the other one? Fillet. So it is a chamfer. Yeah, because it's just a corners just to take off the point basically of it. It's basically a block slide. So I was probably just going to take dimensions of it, block, put my cuts and stuff on that to kind of show it just for fun, and then print something out.
Right.
I don't know. It's just an idea to play around with. But if I have enough time to do it, it'd be really nice to reverse engineer that and make it file done. And one that I could technically just put onto my slide if I wanted to show it, if it has the rails already, formed into it.
Right.
So, change that file up my own cuts and just make a prototype of it. It'd be awesome to do that.
Yeah, you can actually buy like bare Glock slides that don't have the sight cuts. I mean, they're really just a piece of rectangle aluminum that's got the rails. The only thing that's really got cut in, I think, is the rail and the injection port, but everything else is square.
So, I'm just watching what they're saying here on YouTube as well. It's kind of cracking me up. He goes, here's the deal. Whoever adopts me, I promise I will never leave leftover barbecue and beer, I assume he means beer, so you can rest assured I will always leave you wanting more. What?
What the hell?
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on over there.
So
it's turned into I really don't know what's.
They're asking him beer or bear, and then he's like, I am Bob. I really am. No, well, we know you're our chief. That's what he says. Okay. Bear meat and beer drinks, Bill. I don't know. I think he's getting confused with like the right to bear arms and.
They need to stop their frightening Corey.
I don't know. Oh, he's okay. So he said, "You're just creeping them out." He goes, "You're now creeping them out officially." And then he says, "Yeah, come on, you're drunk without me." What? Just crack it up. Anyway,
drunk YouTube commenting, I guess.
There is a lot of that. We do get, there was one night many, many months ago, probably over a year ago, back when we had Ryan Wiggins on the show. Someone who was like, I swear, probably like a member of ISIS or something was on there. Just really weird people sometimes come out of the woodwork at random times when you do a live show, and I don't know where they come from, but they just pop on. But it makes for a good time. Kids make fun of them or whatever. Who knows? So, I don't know if you guys got any final thoughts and whatnot, and we'll kind of wrap things up. I'll go across the room. I always start with Corey because he's the quietest.
Well, he is.
I got my rifle in today.
Oh yeah, I saw the pictures of the right on
my Remington. I actually have it right here.
You always have those staged right there ready to go, don't you?
I do. It's like I'm dying to talk about it. Like it's
show it. Well, let's talk about it.
I thought it was a requirement to have a firearm or two next to you on these, so I just went ahead and put it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I got it off. I got it off Sportsman's Guide, and if you're a member, I mean, you get it like $15-20 cheaper depending on what it is. I got a Remington 783 270 Win Mag. bolt action, and then it came with one of their scopes on it. And I've been looking at it for a while, and I just sometimes those lower end scopes. I mean, they're okay. They'll do what you want them to, but they won't go the distance for what you could possibly be going after when you're hunting. And so I got with Brady over at Right On, and talked about it and figured out which would be best. And during their Christmas sale, when they had the 50% off, I picked up one of their best hunting rifle scopes. So
that's awesome.
I got that put on this afternoon, and hopefully the next weekend or two I'll be able to get out and take it to the range and see how it does.
Cool.
Heck yeah.
I was going to say something else too. So you can Right On, and I mentioned this before. I got that one for the 22. I can't wait to test it out. Hopefully this weekend we'll go out to the range. We actually, I mentioned this before, just signed up with a new, new to me or us, club that has a 550-yard range on it. So we'll get to have some fun. Of course, when I was at Aurora Sportsman's Club, we had a 600-yard range. We're talking about 50 yards and whatnot. But this is a nice option for out here and everything. So hopefully we'll get some video from that and just get some range time with that new Right On scope for that 22. I mean, so that's something just to kind of play with. I got to get it all set up and zeroed in and whatnot too, and hopefully we'll get all that squared away. But again, Corey, thanks for being on with us tonight.
Always.
I know Justin joined us for a little while tonight. So you got anything you want to mention?
No, not really, man. I am tired as all get out.
I am with you on that. I use that every week. I just have low energy today.
Man, dude, I was in a meeting. I work for Caterpillar as my primary job, and I was in a meeting today, and I fell asleep in the meeting, just passed the hell out. I'm embarrassed.
You up or you started snoring or what?
Nah, my coworker next to me, he elbowed me and goes, "Man, you all right?" They thought my blood sugar, because I'm a diabetic. They thought my blood sugar had dropped. I had passed out. No, man, I'm good. I'm just tired. but yeah, next week I'll have more energy. I've got to.
Hopefully I will too. I'm just I've been dragging today. But anyhow, TJ, you got anything?
No, man, things are good. As always, it's a pleasure to be on the show with you guys. If you get a chance, go check out Borderline Belligerent on Facebook. Got a couple shirts designed and up there for sale. Those particular designs will last for another 4 or 5 days, and then we'll move on to the next set. We're eventually going to invest in a sublimation printer of our own, so we'll be able to do more on-the-fly design and real shirt modeling. I know the pictures probably don't do them justice. But otherwise, going to hit the range this weekend. Should be fun. And looking forward to the season starting up for 3-gun and the various multi-gun sports out there. So
I want to get back into it too. I haven't shot 3-gun for a long time now. And I tell you what, when we were driving out to the range that we signed up at this weekend, there's another range on the way out there. Carolina Guns and Gear, I believe. They have pretty good 3-gun match. There are a lot of well-known shooters that go to this and up all their gear out or loading all their gear out of the car to go out to down the ranges and whatnot and shoot. I was like, oh man, 3-gun's going on. But definitely want to get back into it. So thanks again, TJ.
Obligatory firearm at my side shot.
There you go.
My name was Dustin. Did you have anything, Dustin?
Hold on. Remy, come here. I got an evil pit bull.
Oh,
well, if he ever comes over here. Come here.
There's a cat.
Huh? There he is. He's evil, so evil.
We got a big teddy bear.
We'll give you some points for the dog. Fine.
Hey, we got we got Remy the dog, or Remy the pit bull, and then we got Sherman. He's named after General Sherman. I got to name the dogs. Wife got to name the cats. So you can tell who names who.
Fun. You got any final thoughts?
No, thanks for having me on.
Hey, it was fun. I'm glad to have you. Always fun to have new people in here and whatnot. So, one last thing I'll cover tonight. Take a look again on gun channels and on YouTube. So I saw on here on gun channel, Cycle Camp had a question. Said, first they had a comment, well, can't you steal at my range except for during special exception? He says, are you all talking about modifying existing slides or making new ones? Well, we were talking about modifying slides, 3D modeling a slide and then 3D printing one, just so I could see what my slide could look like in my hands before I actually have it cut. Sum it up. And, it's a nice deer gun. I'm not sure if it was by talking to Corey, I'm guessing. Forth. And then also over on YouTube, let's see what we got. Oh, John says, ask Dustin if he wants to hire me for only room and board, and I can attend his meetings for him. This guy wants to be adopted so badly by somebody. I don't know.
Man.
But Sean Kellen, I can't pronounce his last name. Anyway, Sean from Gun, he's also on Gun Channels, but he's over on YouTube right now. Says, come on down to Missouri. We'll even take Canadians. and Biker Bob says deal. And Bob, for those who don't know, he's on time on Gun Channels. Canadian.
Man, with all these people wanting like adoption, you'd think they go to like Nancy Pelosi or something for the Dream Act.
Yeah, I don't know, man. John says he's in New York. He says NYC, New York City. Says, Sean, I just need a 4x6 spot.
Sounds like he's been to jail a few times.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know, but it's fun reading the comments. Again, thank you for everybody for hanging out tonight and all you out there watching and commenting. It's always good. And we got one more just jumped in. Steadley, he says, hello. Welcome. A little bit late to the show unless you've been here watching. I don't know. But anyhow, again, for everybody out there, if you want to kind of participate in our conversations and whatnot, go on youtube.com. When we run these live, we have a live chat on there. .com. If you go to gunchannels.com/BigGunner81, I believe you do have to join to be able to comment on the chat there. Definitely, if you haven't, go check it out. Do it. A lot of great people on there, a lot of great content to share. So without further ado, we'll wrap things up tonight. And as always, go out and have some fun shooting.